Man, the cops showed up at my place and dropped a bombshell. I've got a daughter, 15 years old, that I never knew existed. Her mom's locked up for life, and now I'm supposed to step up and be a dad. But I'm lost, man. Like, what do I even do now? Alright, here's the backstory. I'm 32 now, but back when I was a teenager, I dated this girl, Kay. She broke up with me out of nowhere and didn't even give me a reason. Fast forward to now, and I'm chilling at home when the cops knock on my door. Turns out, Kay got into some deep trouble with drugs and ended up in jail. When they asked if her kid had any family, she said I was the dad. Paternity test? Yeah, it's legit. I've got a 15-year-old daughter. So, she's moving in with me today. But here's the thing, I've got no clue how to be a dad. No kids, no partner, just me and my dogs. Her social worker told me Kay wasn't exactly mother of the year, so my daughter's not used to being cared for, or having any kind of structure. I'm supposed to be patient and show her love, even if she pushes me away. I've set up a room for her, nothing too fancy because I didn't want to freak her out. But, yeah, she's coming today, and I'm just hoping I can figure this out. Any advice would be excellent right now. Update, a few days later. So yeah, I posted a few days ago about my daughter moving in. It's been a massive adjustment for both of us. When I first picked her up, I told her that I know this is all new and weird, and it's gonna take time to get used to it. She's been through hell, I can tell. She's really underweight, and doesn't seem used to having regular meals. I put a snack bin in her room so she doesn't feel like she has to stash food away. I told her she could grab anything from the kitchen, but that seemed to overwhelm her, so now it's just the snack bin. I've also set up regular meal times so she knows food is always coming. She's been having nightmares, screaming in her sleep. She hasn't told me what they're about, and I'm not pushing her, but it's obvious she's been through some serious trauma. I'm trying to find a therapist for her to help her work through this. On the bright side, she's starting to open up a bit. She really loves my dogs, and we've taken them on walks together. She's smart, loves reading, and she's into basketball. I've shared some stuff about me too. She's pretty quiet and keeps to herself, which I get. I'm a stranger to her. But all things considered, it's going better than I expected. Update 2. So yeah, a lot of you probably saw my posts about suddenly finding out I have a 15-year-old daughter and getting custody of her. Things have been going pretty well, all things considered. So today she was sitting at the kitchen table, finishing up her homework, and once she was done, she started playing with the dogs. But I noticed she left a few papers out after putting the rest away. I asked her what they were, and she just casually said, "Oh, just some tests I had this week." I asked if I could take a look, and she handed them over. Turns out, she got A's on all 3 tests, chemistry, history, and geometry, after being at this new school for less than 2 weeks. I was honestly blown away, not because I doubted her smarts, but because she's been going through this huge life adjustment and still managed to nail it. I told her how amazing that was and started rambling about how, at her age, I didn't care about academics at all. I was all about sports and hanging out with my friends. She just shrugged and said, "I enjoyed learning and reading, it helps me get away from life." And that hit me hard. It was like, that's her escape from what must have been a pretty rough life with her mom, a way to focus on something else. It made me really sad to think about it, honestly. Update 3. So yeah, I've been posting here a lot lately. As you know, I recently found out I have a 15-year-old daughter and got full custody of her. Even though I don't know all the details, it's pretty clear her mom wasn't a great parent, and this poor girl has been through so much. Earlier today, we went out to eat because I just didn't feel like cooking. I found out my daughter had never had tacos before, so we went to this taco spot, and we had a chill conversation. But then, this mom walked in with her 2 little girls, both under 10, I'd say. You could just see how much fun they were having together, all smiles and love. My daughter got really quiet and just kept watching them. I didn't want to push, so I kept silent too. She didn't say anything until we were driving home, and then, out of nowhere, she said, "Sometimes it's hard seeing girls have a good relationship with their mom. I get jealous because my mom and I never did." Then she started crying and told me she wanted to be left alone for the rest of the night, and it just broke my heart. It's tough seeing her so upset, and it's even harder knowing that no matter how hard I try to be a good dad now, I can't change the fact that she spent the first 15 years of her life without a loving relationship with her mom. I wish I could fix it, but I can't, and that just sucks because she didn't deserve to be neglected, or maybe even abused. I'm just really in my feelings right now, sad for my daughter and all she's been through. Update 4. It's been a little over 2 months since I got full custody of my daughter, and man, she's been giving me a hard time lately. I haven't yelled at her or anything because I know she's been through a lot, but this whole week, she's been really rude and argumentative with me. We're both in therapy, trying to work through all this, but it's been rough. It has been very rough. During one of the arguments, she ended up telling me some very personal stuff I'm not going to share, but I will say she had a very rough start to life. I was trying my best to comfort her. She seemed like she was having a panic attack. We were just sitting in silence and she said, "You know, you're pretty good at the whole dad thing for being a newbie." I laughed and said thank you and told her being her dad had been enjoyable. It was silent for a while, but then she said, "Thanks, Dad." That made my whole year, to be honest, been having a bit of happy tears. Update 5. I, am 32, have shared quite a few posts on here about finding out I had a teen daughter with an ex of mine. My daughter was also neglected and both physically and mentally abused by her mother. After drug charges, she came to live with me. Things have been going well. She even once called me Dad. We still have tough days, but therapy has helped her a lot, and I'm even in therapy now to help with this big life adjustment. A little over a month ago, my daughter started feeling fatigued, was losing weight. That sadly took a while for her to gain, and was pale, and just seemed unwell. I was worried and started taking her to the doctors. They were convinced it was just a bad cold that was going around, but it lasted way longer than any cold should. So I took her to other doctors. One recently decided to run some tests. I honestly didn't know what would be wrong with her. At certain points I figured I was a new dad and just over worrying about my daughter. Today we found out she has leukemia. This poor girl has had such a tough life already, and now this. I am pissed. I am upset. I am terrified. I've had family members go through chemo, so I know it's no easy task, and that'll mentally be hard on both of us. Extremely physically hard on my poor girl. She hasn't said much since we found out earlier this morning. I would just like you guys to send good vibes messages and possibly advice if you have any. Update 6. I have shared a lot here about my daughter, if 15. I didn't know about her until the police came to my door wondering if I could take her in. Her mother, my ex, was neglectful, mentally and sometimes physically abusive towards my daughter. I was just working on building a relationship with her and we were starting to get close. A little. Over a month ago, she got diagnosed with cancer, leukemia specifically. Life has not been fair at all to this poor girl. She has been doing inpatient chemo for almost a month now. That's been rough. She's either quiet or verbally attacking me and taking her anger out on me. I haven't said much about that. I understand she's angry. I mean, she's only 15, a sophomore in high school, and has been through so much. She's been doing virtual therapy sessions with her therapist and talking to people at the hospital as well. She's coming home in a few days. She will, hopefully he'll, be able to relax in her bed. She gets to see my dogs, which she loves dearly. It's been mentally draining for both of us, mostly her, I know. She lost most of the weight she was able to gain living with me. She was extremely underweight when she came to live with me. Even with anti-nausea meds, she just doesn't have an appetite right now. Chemo has made reading harder, and she refuses to listen to audiobooks, so she's grumpy about not reading since it's something that has always brought her comfort. And it's just clear she's upset and frustrated, which is understandable and why I let her kind of get upset with me, but I do let her know that what she says hurts me. But I know she's a teenager who has been hurt her whole life and now going through something extremely difficult. Update 7. Hi everyone. This is with permission from her. I'm posting a picture of my daughter coming home from a month of inpatient chemo. I'm the one who posts on here a lot about how I got my daughter who I didn't know about. My last post was about dealing with her new cancer diagnosis. She was super happy to be home, be able to lay, sleep in her own bed, see our dogs. I've been reading to her. We started the Divergent book series, which is actually really good. I've never read them before. Since being home, she has been in a better mood, compared to being in the hospital, but cancer has been still so mentally difficult on her. It's also been hard on me, not in the same way of course, but just because I love her and hate seeing her go through this, especially after everything she's been through. She also tends to take her frustration out on me verbally, which is okay. I know this is hard on her. She's only 15 and has been through a lot. Anyway, just wanted to give a bit of an update on everything. Update 8. Hi everyone. It's been a while. I've shared many posts about my 15-year-old daughter, who I didn't know existed until 8 months ago. It has been challenging, especially with her getting diagnosed with cancer leukemia. Well, she has been so strong during this fight against leukemia. I am beyond proud of her. She is such a strong young lady who has gone through so much throughout her life. Well, tomorrow starts a whole new chapter for my daughter. She's getting a stem cell transplant. It won't be easy, but if it goes good, this is going to do her so much good, and my daughter will finally be able to live the life she deserves. So today she's getting spoiled by me and my whole family, because for a while things are going to be really difficult for her. So please send good vibes and thoughts our way, and I also want to thank everyone for all the love and support we have gotten on here. There has been no update since, so we must send our best wishes for Op.